What's good, everybody? If you've been in the MMA space for any amount of time, if you've been an MMA fan for literally any amount of time, I'm sure you've heard of Demetrious Johnson, aka the Flyweight GOAT, aka Mighty Mouse, and how the UFC did him super fucking dirty, like super bad. Back in the years of like 2010 to like 2014, Mighty Mouse was racking up like 11 title defenses in a row against some random jobbers like John Moraga, bro. Who the fuck is this? Whose uncle is John Moraga, right? The division was at its lowest point by far, and Dana White and the big guys on top, they seriously considered cutting it from the sport. Just like erasing the flyweight division. It's insane. According to the big fellas up top, the problem was that Mighty Mouse was way too good for the division. He was just knocking down all the jobbers that they were setting up for him. In 2018, they gave Henry Cegudo a rematch against DJ, and he actually won by like a super close decision, and the UFC just, as fast as possible, they got rid of Mighty Mouse. They sold him off to one championship. They traded him for Ben Askren, and yeah, man, since Mighty Mouse left, the division got a little bit better, a little bit more entertaining, but it was still like by far the weakest division and the most, like the least entertaining one by far, right? This has changed. Today, I'm here to talk about how this has all changed and how the flyweight division is the best it's ever been, and it's low-key one of the better divisions in the UFC, alright? Let's get out to the first reason why this has happened. The Unks are fucking gone, bruh. These guys, I feel like the flyweight division was the biggest encapsulation of infinite title glitches that we've seen in the sport. Fucking 4 fights, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Alexandre Pantoja, twice against Brandon Royval, twice against fucking Moreno. Like, it's actually insane. Kai Kara-France gets a title shot after one win in the division. It's horrible, man. The guys that have been on infinite title shot glitches and rotating in and out of the championship are finally out of the sport, out of the division, or out of title contention, right? Comfortably out of title contention. Brandon Moreno, he's on a 2-fight skid right now. He lost to Tatsuro Taira, and he lost to Loner Kavanagh, who came in on short notice and beat him by decision. It's time, right? Like, we can see now that Brandon Moreno is no longer at the top of the division, so he's finally out of title contention. Brandon Royval got slimed out by Joshua Van, and since he lost to Alexandre Pantoja already, he's kind of locked out of the title picture, so he's talking about moving up to bantamweight, and I think that would be a good move for him, because flyweight, he's a really big flyweight. I think bantamweight, he'd do great. Kai Kara-France is taking some time off, which is good. I don't want to see this guy's face in the division. He's taking some time off, so for sure he's going to be at the rankings. And Deiveson Figueiredo has gone up to bantamweight, where he's not doing horribly. He's doing actually pretty good, you know. And then, yeah, guys like Amir Al-Blasi and Tim Elliott are very comfortably away from the title shot, which is good. You know, Tim Elliott's been in the sport ranked 11th for, it feels like, his entire fucking life, his entire existence, right? He just spawned in at that ranking. But yeah, man, the Unks are gone. The division can finally move on from like this old guard of fighters, and we can get onto our prospects, all right? The champ has changed. This is very important, and this was actually really pivotal for the flyweight division for like a bunch of reasons. In the fight with Van, I believe, like going into it, most people expected Joshua Van to get dominated by Alexandre Pantoja. I know I picked Alexandre to win that fight. And then, you know, we all know what happened with the arm break, but what people don't talk about is the fact that this arm break and the fact that Alexandre Pantoja lost to Van in a not dominating fashion, like in a weird fashion, it opens up so many possibilities for him to come back and fight as a contender. It reminds me a lot of, like, now we have Israel Adesanya in the middleweight division. Now he's fighting Joe Pyfer. He was talking about, okay, I'm going back to contender Izzy, you know, I'm fighting guys, I'm going to be on the come up, this and that. It reminds me a lot of that because Alexandre Pantoja is a really interesting matchup for a lot of these prospects. Since it's a really bad injury, he's going to be out for a little bit. Joshua Van, as we know, is going to defend the title against Tatsuro Taira, which is a banger matchup. And then maybe Pantoja will come back, maybe fight one time against another contender, maybe like a Kyoji Horiguchi, maybe he fights Loner Kavanagh, something like that, and then gets a rematch with whoever's a champ, whether that be Tatsuro Taira or, again, the rematch with Van. This is a very interesting way to mix up the division, and Alexandre Pantoja is old. He's like on the older side, but he's still in his prime, I would consider, and very dangerous. Again, putting Pantoja in contender status makes the division that much better. All right, next. The best prospects we have ever had are the ones we have right now in this division. Joshua Van, he's a killer. Amazing striking. You know, he got the title fight. He doesn't deserve to be champ. Like, he got the title by like a little bit of a fluky way. but I do believe he would have gotten to the title, whether it be challenging for it or actually becoming champion at some point in the future. I am 100% sure. He's only lost to Charles Johnson by fluke knockout in this division. Tatsuro Taira, Japanese. He's Japan's greatest hope outside of Kyoji Horiguchi. Super entertaining to watch. We saw that fight with Brandon Moreno. We see his fights. You know, he lost to Brandon Royval a little bit ago, but he's improved a lot from then. He's very entertaining and has really good matchups in the division. I'd love to see him against any of the prospects or even any of like the older guard, you know? This guy will make the fight entertaining no matter what. Leonard Kavanaugh, we saw this guy has maybe the best combination striking in the UFC, and he's maybe the fastest flyweight. I think him or Manel Cap, these two guys are like the fastest flyweights we have. So again, like the fastest guys in the fastest division, absolute cinema. Super pretty striking, and he's super young. He's the youngest guy here. Very, very promising, and he looks like my friend Diego. Shout out Diego, all right? Manel Cap, the most experienced prospect on here, except like outside Kyoji Horiguchi. He's fought everybody inside the UFC, outside the UFC. He's actually fought Kyoji Horiguchi, right? He fought the old generation. He's fought the new generation. He's super fast, super unorthodox, and in my opinion, he may not be the best flyweight out of here, but I think he's the hardest test for everyone at flyweight. I think no matter who the champ is or whoever you are in the flyweight division, your hardest fight will be Manel Cap, and it's a fight that I'm actually gonna pick him to win against a lot of these prospects, you know. I don't really like him as a person, but he's super entertaining on the mic. He does his job, and he fights very well. So again, I have to give him his respects. I do believe he is one of the better flyweights we have, all right? And lastly, Kyoji Horiguchi. Unk! He's coming to put belt on ass, bro. This guy came out of nowhere. He came as the most experienced fighter. He fought the old generation. You know, he actually fought Mighty Mouse back in the day. And he's now fighting the new gen and doing well, bro. He beat Tagir Lembekov. He beat the other guy, I forget his name. Super well-rounded, and he's actually fought Manel Cap, so maybe we could see a rematch, you know, get something like that going, all right? And the last reason for why the flyweight division is so good, there's danger outside the UFC. We have contenders outside the UFC. When does this happen, bruh? Like Bellator, maybe, you know, we have Usman and Nurmagomedov for lightweight, and then maybe Francis Ngannou over at the PFL. But in reality, bro, we don't really have good contenders usually. Guys outside the UFC like Muhammad Makayev and Adriano Moraes, who knocked out Mighty Mouse, they're super, super, super good and could do really, really well in the UFC. I have no doubt in my mind that these guys would do amazingly well in the UFC. Makayev, he's undefeated. He won against Manel Cap. I'd pick him to win that rematch. I'd pick him to beat Van probably. I'd pick that fight. It would be really close against Taira, but I'd pick Makayev. I'd probably pick him to beat Kyoji Horiguchi. Like, this guy's undefeated, super well-rounded, just got that nasty knockout in that promotion. I don't know what promotion he's in right now, but he got that nasty knockout. I'd love to see this guy come back into the UFC. I know he did some bullshit, you know, backstage, and he had a really boring fight with Cap, but bring this guy back. These matchups with him and all the rest of the division are elite. Same thing with Adriano Moraes. He's not the best flyweight, but he's elite, and he's definitely better than fucking Tim Elliott or Amir Abbasi, right? This guy deserves to be in the UFC. UFC, get this guy a contract, please. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think about the flyweight division in its current state? Which matchups do you want to see be made? Do you think the flyweight division is one of the better ones in the sport? I think it's definitely better than the heavyweights right now. I don't think that's a big bar to go, but, you know, at least it's for sure not the worst division. And that's a big step for the flyweights, all right? Thank you again for watching. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee, all right? Ciao.